All right, welcome. Good evening, good afternoon, greetings, and good night wherever you are. This is episode 2 of the Newton Area Flag Football League podcast series. We're getting a chance to get to know all of our executive staff members. With me tonight is my lovely wife and co-founder of the Flag Football League, Megan. So we're going to have a few questions and answers. Everybody on the channel can get a chance to get to know us a little better, and also feel free to put in questions in the comments, and feel free to subscribe and like us. So to kick things off, Megan, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in flag football, and what's your own athletic background look like?
Yeah, sure. As a kid, I was always playing sports, different sports, soccer, softball, basketball, flag football. But most of all, I really loved basketball. But my son really loves football. And that's how it came about that we entered into creating a flag football league.
And do you remember our first event? Maybe you want to share a few words about how that came along.
Yeah, so we had a turkey bowl tournament just to kind of gauge interest in the Newton area of, kids who were interested in flag football because it wasn't being offered in Newton. And it was a highly anticipated event that was well attended. I think it was around 75.
Yeah, if we were lucky.
Yeah, around 75 kids who signed up and participated in the event, which ended up leading us to deciding to then start a flag football season in the spring.
Right, so from 70 players in that Turkey Bowl, I think we were up to over 425 players or so for our anticipated spring 2020 season, which of course is facing the trials and tribulations of the coronavirus pandemic. So, so from those humble beginnings, here we are, and trying to find our best way forward. Maybe you could say a little bit more about what you do for the league and how you're involved and where people can find you.
Yeah, sure. So in the league, I'm primarily at the registration desk if Abe's not there, but also I'm doing a lot of outreach to the schools, primarily the PTO organizations, reaching out to different schools in the Newton area and actually the general greater Boston area to try and get the message across that we do have a league. We are accepting players. Not only is it competitive, safe, and fun, but it's open to players from kindergarten to, at this point, I think we even now have 16-year-olds.
Correct, yeah. So I know that while you spend most of your time at the registration desk, you do have some experience as a coach, right? Maybe you could say a few words about that.
So yeah, I have been a sub coach for a few weeks, primarily it was our first season in the spring for my son's team.
Spring of 2018.
2018, yep. And so that was very exciting. And Jacob was nice enough to give me his playbook so that I could follow along some plays. And also, of course, Finn, my son, was guiding me along the way too. But it was very entertaining and it was fun. And at the end of the day, the most important thing is that the kids are having a fun time and that everybody's getting out on the field to play.
So for those folks out there who might be a little bit tepid or, worried about getting involved as a coach, would you say there's a very high, threshold to kind of get your toes in the water and learn the protocols and get involved?
No, I think you have to have an open mind to be willing to do it. There's a supportive network. We have normally at the beginning of a season a coaches meeting where coaches are versed on what the different policies are. Also with a number of different plays that they can use, and obviously coaches are welcome to create their own plays and research other plays as well. But I think the most important thing is listening to your players and also working with your players to see what they do well and where they do it well and how to incorporate them onto the field and into the play.
Right, and of course we'll be doing more events this season, particularly with the podcast with our head of coaching and player coordination, Ian Gallagher, who of course we had on last week and we'll feature again soon. So he'll be offering tips and advice and ways for people to get to learn a little bit more about the game before diving right in. So maybe just an off the cuff kind of question, but you've been around the game for quite a long time, even before we started the league in Newton. We had our son playing in North Shore and other tournaments around the area. What would you say is your favorite thing about flag football and any favorite memories that you might have?
Oh, I think that my favorite memory is when Finn, we used to live in Chelsea, and he was playing on the Chelsea team, and Jake was one of the coaches, and it was where they were playing.
The head coach.
And the North Shore League, and I think they won, what was it called, the Toilet Bowl?
No, we won the league
Or
championship.
the league championship, and then maybe another year went to the Toilet Bowl. But it was an exciting time, especially because this team had played together and worked really hard together, and then to see them compete with teams not only from Massachusetts but from Greater New England and then beyond New England as well. It was really exciting.
Yeah, so I think we might have had our wires crossed a little bit there on your favorite memory, but that was a memorable season.
There were many times that we were there.
That's true. Yeah, and I think that's another good point to raise here is that, apart from the league activities that we offer, of course, there are many tournaments to be had in the area through many different providers. And of course, we put on an event at Boston College in March, shortly before the schools were canceled and everything shut down. And that was a pretty wonderful experience. So, of course, a little bit chaotic at times. But if you had anything that you wanted to say to parents or players or coaches, what do you think your best bit of advice would be?
If you're thinking about flag football as a sport and you're a bit nervous about it, I would just say go out there and do it. I played flag football in 4th grade for the first time. I was the only girl on the team, but I had an incredible experience. And if you like to play sports, it's a really fun sport. It's great to be on a team and work with individuals. I think you'll have a lot of fun, and it's safe. And I mean, everyone out there is having a really great time. And if you want to know more about it or just kind of want to experience it, you can always come to the field when we're able to come to the field and check it out yourself and just watch some games.
True. I guess I hadn't thought about it till now, but maybe you could share some of your experiences as a female player. You mentioned you were the only female with a team of boys. And of course, we do have a good number of girls in our program, but not a lot. So as a co-ed activity, what are your thoughts on it?
So I would love to see more girls playing. I always played lots of sports growing up, and maybe was considered a tomboy at times. And I don't think it matters what gender you are. As long as you're out there and you're giving your best and you're having a good time, you'll have the respect of your players and of your coach.
Right, and I think one of our female players has actually been a key part of a couple of championship teams. And we've had a number that have been quite exceptional in the league as well. So I think it's one of the things that I see is it's a great open level playing field for everyone. Whether you're experienced, you're inexperienced, boy, girl, young, old, and we do our best to break up the teams by of course age groups, but also with Coach Ian and some of our coaches, we do split up the teams based on talent and experience and everything else. So I think that's maybe all we really need to get into for the night, unless there's something more you want to add or a few parting words you want to say while people are coping during this difficult time. Maybe you want to share a few thoughts about how you're getting along.
So I hope to see everyone out at the field as soon as we can and when it's safe. And if you have any questions specifically for me as someone who has played, as a female on an all-male team, and not all of the teams will be all male because we're increasing the number of female players. But if you're a mom out there and you want to ask me some questions about it, I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have, because I'd love to see more females out there.
All right, sounds great. Well, I guess let's wrap it up, and thanks for being with us. We'll continue, and like we said, hope everybody out there is being safe, being well. Take care.
Take care.
Look forward to seeing you soon.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.